Welcome to Down the Middle, episode 52. It's Joel and H, as per usual. How are you, mate? What's going on? Clean
I'm
shaven for
going,
anyone watching the video.
yeah, it's probably horrid video for the people that do watch. Yeah, mate, probably the first time I've clean shaved in probably 7.5 months. Regretted it a little bit. Sort of looking at myself in the camera that it adds 15 kilos onto you. But
There's that
nah,
there's
going
that
good.
instant um instant regret, isn't it?
Yeah,
For
it's
anyone that does a beard, I'm a beard guy. I've always been a beard guy, and
mm,
I over the weekend was like, oh, it was my daughter's birthday, and I'm going, maybe I clean it up, just for photos. And I went, no, because you'll take too much off, and then you go a little bit further to clean it all up, and then all of a sudden I end up looking like you, and I'm like, oh, I hate the clean shave. Nothing wrong with looking like you. I just hate the clean shave.
yeah, nah, fair enough. Yeah, well, I'm gonna be growing it back straight away. So after looking at myself like this, I'm like, yep, 3 weeks, unnoticeable, so it'll be good. But
We
hey,
might not,
sorry in
we
advance to
might not
everyone.
be, we might not be zooming or videoing next week.
Yeah. See how it is.
Um, what's been happening, mate? Pennants season over.
Yeah, unfortunately, came second in the group.
Nice.
We drew 1.5 the last 2 weeks, unfortunately, and we needed to win both weeks 2-1. Um, look, pretty like we did. I think we did pretty good for the team that we had. Me being the youngest by 20 odd years.
I was talking to Uncle
Um,
Brian. Um, couldn't name one of your players last weekend because he's no longer with us. In
yes,
between round 4 and 5 or 5 and 6
four
or
and
something.
five. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
That's
But
that tells you something about the average age of the team.
yeah, unfortunately, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Rest in
but
peace,
yeah,
mate.
and to tell you what, I know I get these guys, and I don't, I'm not going to play consistently good for 18 holes. Um, but it's like they say, oh, geez, I haven't played this bad in a while. I'm like, yeah, of course. Like,
Well, you're my
so
partner. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
it's like, well, two down after three. We halved four. Then me personally won five, six, seven, and eight to go to two up. And I said to him, I said, mate, I don't think I have too many holes left in me to like, just playing two v one kind of thing.
I've won four
And I
in a
said,
row.
I've won literally four in a row. That's with two birdies and two pars. So I've gone two under through four holes.
That's pretty good.
Um, and I was like, mate, and they just start doing something. He only hit his driver off the tee twice. Um, and yeah, and then unfortunately we lost 3 and 2, I think. So
Yeah, that
I
hurts.
just I couldn't keep going. My driver sort of fell away off the tee, and but yeah, sort
No
of
good. I was actually talking to Dad over the weekend, maybe Monday, and I had a thought. Seeing as I've let my membership lapse, I'm hoping my handicap disappears. Maybe when I make a return,
yeah.
I might be looking at maybe a little B grade entry
Well,
level.
I'm hoping B grade next year. Not obviously, I'll just be a number to B grade and sort of just like, hey, I'll play if you need me to. Like nothing. I'm not going to say I'm going to be 12, 11 to 13, but yeah,
Well, mate, I'm thinking 2025. That could be me, or 24,
24,
maybe
24.
24, maybe 24.
How long?
Might
How sort of long does that happen? Like if with your
I don't know.
handicap
I
like
don't know.
situation?
I might look it up. Um,
Yeah,
because I think there is a time limit where you can sort of get your handicap back. Um,
yeah.
I'd like, mate, mine can go. It was even still 8 or 9. That's too low.
The thing is,
I
though,
want
mate, you know,
13
like
or
you have a
14.
couple. Yeah, you could easily get to 12 though.
That's what I want.
But,
12. That's enough shots just to get me back in.
yeah,
Um, oh, mate, start grinding for Champos now. That's your next goal.
yeah. Well, I've got to fit in on. on
Yes,
Friday.
that's right.
For new irons and driver, I said, mate, I want to go through my driver settings and just and ball. I think that's what my big problem is, not using the right ball for myself. So
Are we looking at a certain brand?
well, I've been using the Callaway triple tracks for the last 2 months, and they've worked pretty well. So I've been sticking with that. Yeah, the ball. Keeping the same driver, obviously, but just see if I need a different shaft and settings.
Yeah.
And then the new TaylorMade P790s, mate. Supposedly they say with all the new technology that all the irons are different.
Weren't they AI created or something?
Oh, I don't know. It was some of that TaylorMade spin bullshit. But
I think I saw something, and it might have been them. They were created by AI around. They're all different makeups, and they're all different. And
So,
apparently AI came up with it.
yeah.
Shout out to TaylorMade. We're looking for a sponsor,
mate, we'll do testing 100%. We've never bagged any of your players, nothing like that. So,
hey, I've got my stealth driver right there. I'm a TaylorMade man through and through.
The only thing TaylorMade I've got is a putter. So, but yeah, I'd have to obviously.
We're open to more. TaylorMade, exactly if you're listening.
Yeah, 100%. I've got to see obviously a bit of an improvement in the distance, but if I sort of go the same distance and a little bit straight, I'll just stick to my old ones that I've had. Sure. But and then probably need to get a couple of lessons and fix myself up a bit and trying to grind away.
Or you can head up to Canberra Golf Club. There's a few things in the works up there from what I've seen. So I reckon head up there.
I've seen the golf in an indoor simulator, I think.
Yeah, a little sim up there. I reckon that might be my next lesson in the sim. Anyway, speaking golf, mate, huge golf over the weekend.
$18 million worth of golf.
$18 million. So we spoke about it last week. It was the Tour Championship tournament, which is the end of the FedEx Cup standings. And Shane's man, he's not even here to hype him up.
He hasn't been here to hype him up for 2 months.
I know. We still keep hyping him up for Shane. Yeah. Viktor Hovland takes the win.
5 shots, mate, by 5. With a -27 total finish. I think he started 5 under. 8 under.
I think he was ranked second. Scotty was 10, ranked number 1.
Yeah.
Because they then
leapfrogged it all with his win at the BMW. Yeah. So technically he's won 18 million fat, but then he won 3.7. So he's won 21.7 in 7 days, really.
What did I see? I don't know if I saved it. Let me have a look. No, of course I didn't. I saw something on Instagram. Yeah, he's won 40-something million or whatever it is this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he's locked up, as we'll speak after, a position in the team. But yes, Hovland came first. Xander Schauffele, he started pretty well, finished strong as well with a -22, the outright second.
That's pretty good from Xander because we've spoken about him a number of times. I think you're a bit of a fan of Xander, aren't you?
I am definitely a big fan.
You always throw him in there. He hasn't done a whole lot. I think he's had 1 or 2 sort of real decent finishes.
Yeah.
But he hasn't done a whole lot. So that was pretty good, especially coming into, we'll talk about the Ryder Cup in a minute, but coming into the Ryder Cup good from Xander.
And it was pretty much a Viktor obviously won it comfortably, and even Xander had second comfortably. He finished 6 shots in front of Wyndham Clark, finished 16 under. You got Rory there at 4th, -14, and Patrick Cantlay -13. That's your top 5, and then sort of it's pretty good for probably Wyndham Clark there to jump up, and then as we'll talk about a bit later on as well, what he's been able to do as well. But I think the most disappointing, I'll probably go Scotty Scheffler, mate. He only went 1 under for the whole
over
weekend.
the 4 days. Yeah.
So it was a bit of a disappointing one.
I think
Even
would Victor have been? He would have won it without the handicap, wouldn't he? At 19 under.
no, I think Xander
Xander would have, because he was sitting at about. Oh, what was
won.
Xander's? Was he only at
I think
one?
1 or 2 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even I think he might be 3. So I don't know. They might have tied, but yeah, them two boys obviously definitely very much
A cut above.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So but yeah, it's official season done and dusted by the PGA. And then I think they've got a couple of weeks break. Some of them will be practicing, some will be on holidays. We're sort of going into the new 2023-24 season. Even just a little bit of a mention, unfortunately, the only Aussie in the field was Jason Day, but he actually didn't do too good. Came 28th, +3 for the tournament, +3 4th round. So really, he would have went.
What did you take home? A couple hundred?
Yeah, I think so. It'd be
Couple hundred.
pretty handy, I'd say. And even Jordan Spieth there finishing 27th.
Mate, well, as we start to talk about Ryder Cup, yeah, Jordan Spieth, that's not a real good finish for him.
Yeah, and as I saw, I don't know if you watched the video that I sent in inbox later this evening, like
earlier this
about
evening.
how it's sort of the boys' club, that the sort of the environment that they think is around, and but yeah, so well, if you want to, mate, we can
let's unpack the Ryder Cup. Ryder Cup, biannual tournament, USA versus Europe. Match play event, a combination of sort of different ways that they do their match play, teams and singles. But yeah, this USA team. So we've got, it was announced. Well,
so
I suppose
it was announced sort of
overnight.
this morning. So so they had
the USA
so
time.
We had six from last week, obviously. So we had Scotty Scheffler, Wyndham Clark, Hardman, Xander, Cantlay, and Homer. They were the 6 automatic picks as they finished in the top 6 rankings of points as Americans throughout the season. And then the rest got named today, as we'll go through. Brooks Koepka, the only live player.
So these are captain's picks. The captain is Zach Johnson.
Yes.
So he's got six automatic qualifiers and then 6 captain's picks. Yeah.
So yeah, Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa, Justin Thomas, that I think we expected it shouldn't be there. Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, and so I think the surprise pick from everyone would have been Sam Burns.
You reckon a surprise pick?
I think there's one player that I think he got hardly done by, and he sort of came out today or sort of this morning and sort of pushed the boys' club sort of way with Keegan Bradley, mate. He finished 7th or 8th in the actual standing, so he only just missed out. And then he doesn't get picked by the captain. If obviously, I think Brooks Koepka that's an easy pick. Collins, I think that's a pretty good pick as well. He's he's been pretty reliable. He's had an up and down season, but and Ricky Fowler, he's sort of come back. He's a nice guy, good guy. But I think JT, Spieth, and Sam Burns, I think they're the real question picks for me.
I see the other thing that I'm looking at sort of Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas being picked, and I think that is simply because Brian Harman and Wyndham Clark automatically qualified. Now, Brian Harman jumped up into that qualifying in the last 2 events, with 2 wins or 1 win.
But I think just the one win. I think.
Like one win, okay.
I
But
think
obviously, heaps of
Lucas Glover. He won the last tournament, and then he won the St. Jude.
yeah,
But he came seventh. I think he must have came seventh in thing,
yeah,
and then he doesn't get picked, so he
yeah.
can.
Because and like I see with Keegan Bradley too. He had a pretty consistent run, especially towards the back end of this season.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, there's automatic qualifiers, and then there's captain's picks.
Mm.
The captain's picks, I know you were sort of saying like some people have sort of said it's a boys' club. Bryson DeChambeau, his last two rounds in live, I sent you this thing today. His last two rounds in live, he's had a 50 and something, a 58 and a 61. JT's
Yeah.
last two rounds, he's had two 80 somethings. The
Mm.
last two competitive rounds of golf, that's what they've had. How come DeChambeau doesn't get a captain's pick?
Well, I get it. With JT's record in the Ryder Cup, it's 6 wins, two draws, and 1 loss. I get that. But just because you have a bad year doesn't mean you're going to turn it around in Ryder Cup.
In the Ryder Cup, man, exactly. When it's a, I have always said, that match play is a total different game to just going out there and playing stroke, and you can have the mindset to win match play. Again, not at this level, but even playing pennants, I've been playing some average golf, but I've been pushing for me to get picked because I'm like, I'll play match play well. And then I've won a couple of games. People are like, oh, geez, you won. I'm like, well, yeah, because this is different out here. But I think you got some guys that are really playing some good golf that didn't get picked. Do you think, I don't know, do you think there's too many captain's picks? Like, do you think there should be more automatic qualifiers and then just a couple of captain's picks?
I think the 6 automatic picks. I reckon 2 captain picks. Then I reckon you make a little tournament and go, rightio, these are the people I want to fight it out for the last 4 spots. Pick 8 people. You go into match play. You verse each other in match play. Whoever wins out of the 18 holes, bang.
Because you know what? Like, what's the... And obviously...
And it brings out in the match play as well to see who's good.
All that. But, like, Zach Johnson doesn't have to tell us his criteria. But, like you said, it just seems like it's a boys' club, It's the same blokes that get picked every year. And that certainly turns a lot of people off. And, I don't know. I just reckon JT and Jordan Spieth are very, very lucky to be there.
And I think it will deter a lot of US players as well. Going, you know what? If I don't make the top 6, I'm never going to play Ryder Cup. As long as these guys are still playing. And Ryder Cup's only every 2 or 3 years, I think. Every 2 years.
Yeah.
Some guys might drop off a bit and then they'll never be considered again.
But also, like, President's Cup next year, because I think it usually goes President's Ryder. It'll just be the same guys. And like, that's cool, but there's with golf, like, there's so many changes of who's going good, who's not going good. That's why I also think this is an opportunity to who's been playing good for the last 8 weeks, who's been playing good for the last 3 months, get them in. You know what I mean?
Or who's just been consistent. You don't have to win tournaments, but like getting top 20s. Top 20s is very good. That's very hard to do on the PGA consistently.
Absolutely.
So
I don't know. Anyway, we've only got the.
We've only got the 6 automatic spots.
So captain is Luke Donald for Europe. Johnny Rahm's in. Rory McIlroy's in. Viktor Hovland is in. Tyrrell Hatton is in. Yeah. So I think they've only got 4 because they've got European points and world points. Sort of system going on.
And they've finished. I think they've got 1 more international series, so that's why they're a week later.
I feel like the thing I saw today on the Ryder Cup website was that Robert McIntyre and Tommy Fleetwood might also be there as automatic qualifiers at the moment.
They're in the 2 spots.
The top. Yeah.
They're the people that are in the final two spots, but obviously things can change with someone. Obviously, we don't have the list of what the points are ranked. But yeah, I would say maybe Shane Lowry would be close to that as well.
Yeah.
So it's you got
I think
you got
Shane
Max
Lowry,
Fitzpatrick, Shane Lowry, Sepp Straka,
Sepp
Justin
Straka.
Rose. Them boys have been playing good. So I think Sepp Straka finished. I think he was in the top 10 of the Tour Championship. But so yeah, we'll probably touch more on them quickly next week episode when we know
They should get
sort of
announced
who
next week.
these two teams.
I'd like to see Sergio there.
Unfortunately, I think Brooks will be the only live golfer.
I'd like to see Sergio.
And I would love it. And I think Brooks only got picked from the pressure of everyone going, you know what, he's won a major.
That's true.
I think he's won 2 or 1 live tournament, and then he's been in contention with 3 of the 4 majors. If he didn't get picked, then it would be definitely, oh, well, you're not looking at form, you're just looking at biasy.
Yeah, there might have been a little tap on the shoulder about, hey, remember we've got that PGA Live connection coming. Maybe we need one guy. To be honest, I would have picked Bryson as well. I would have put Bryson in there.
I feel like they should pick obviously 6 captains, 6 automatic, and maybe 1 wild card to just of injury. Sort of like a big backup. I know not 4-12 play until the last day or whatever I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean it's all singles and stuff like that. But yeah, I would have picked him. But that's why we're not.
Yeah, I reckon even pick a squad, like you do for State of Origin. Pick a squad. Pick 15. Pick 15, and then you can just play whoever you want. Like each day, even each day can change. You can sub in and out. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. That's golf. What else we got? You're on the run sheet tonight.
I am on the run sheet, mate. We're bringing something new in. We've got a new game called Rank 1 to 5 Blindly. So I'm going to give you a topic, mate. I think listeners probably would see this online a bit, or people just doing all different things with soft drinks, footy players, cities, absolutely anything. I'm going to give you 5 options, mate, and you got to rank these from 1 to 5 without knowing what's going to come next. As I sort of said before we started recording, the first option I'll give you could be the best one, and this is where you got to strategically.
So I've got numbers 1 to 5. You're just going to give me one thing at a time, and I have to go, well, that's probably number 3. And then that's probably number 1.
Until you lock a spot on. And I've ripped my list out, and I've actually put in what order I'm going to say.
What it should be. Have you also got
not what it should be, what names I'm actually going to. So I've made it difficult to go, radio. I could throw him, and he might struggle. You might get the worst player for last, and you'll wait for.
I got to put them number 1 now.
And you got to put them number 1.
Okay, so, I like it. What's out? So, how many topics you got?
I've only got 2.
That's all right.
Got 2. We'll see how it goes. I'll start off with fast food places, mate, to get you into the gear. So, and this is interesting. You might not like any of these, but
exactly right.
You got to rank. So, radio, mate. With the first one is KFC.
Ooh. Number 2.
Radio. Just writing these down.
Okay, KFC. Yeah, KFC would be number 2, I reckon, no matter the list.
Wendy's.
5. Oh, no, there's something worse than Wendy's. Damn it. Wendy's? Good for nothing. Thick shake.
Brumbies.
What?
Brumbies.
I don't even know what that is. It'll have to go 4. I should
didn't
have done
know
that
what it
number
was
5.
either.
What's Brumbies?
I don't know. I didn't research it. I just went, oh, that's a good one.
It'll
This
have
is
to
what
go
I mean.
number 4. Damn
Yeah,
it.
Brumbies.
Oh, he's lost his list.
Try time.
Oh, that should have been number 5. He'll have to go number 3. And I hope there's something good to finish.
Try time number 3. And lastly, not least, I think you would have put it number 1 anyway, and that's why I tried to trick you with trying to put some couple of ones. McDonald's, mate. McDonald's number 1.
That's
Don't
okay.
have to say anything.
I'm happy with Mac as number 1. That'll do. I can live with that.
I did try to throw you. I was hoping you would put KFC number 1. But so your top 5 fast food restaurants is McDonald's number 1, KFC number 2, Try Time number 3, Brumbies number 4, and Wendy's number 5.
That is the worst list anyone could ever create for a top 5.
Yeah.
Try time. I hate that. I hate that shit too.
Oh,
I just got to plug my laptop in. Give me 2 seconds.
That's right, mate. So, and we'll definitely, even if listeners want to send a topic in, and then we will research some of them, obviously. So then I'll probably have to research them. So then the boys don't know, obviously, what you want, or even I might say shout out, even DM me personally with topics and your suggestions. Options.
You can abuse me for that top 5 because that's a terrible top 5. Try time number 3.
That was a tough one.
I like it. I've got the rhythm now. I like it.
So now the next one is NRL players.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. This could be anything.
Mate.
Oh.
I searched high and low,
I might not even know some of these blokes.
You'll know them all. I didn't want to go.
Luke Brooks is going to be in this list. I'm going to leave number 5 open just in case Luke Brooks comes along.
So the first person is Cade Snowden.
Cade. Where would Cade sit on a top 5 list? Let's put Cade number 4.
And I'm not going to give anything away this time.
There'll have to be someone better than Cade on this list. One of the great rugby league names, though, Cade Snowden. Good on him.
Kalen Ponga.
Kalen's pretty good. Kalen's probably one of the GOATs. Number 2 for Kalen. You'll have someone better than Kalen on the list.
Just don't know, do you?
Oh, he's not giving me anything here.
Cooper Cronk.
I'll go Coop number 1. Cooper Cronk, one of the great rugby league minds. I actually really like Cooper and Matty John's podcast. The way those 2 blokes dissect rugby league, far out.
They are pretty good. Dane Nielsen. The old Melbourne Storm, I'm pretty sure he played for Melbourne Storm. The thing is, do you rate him higher than Cade Snowden, or
is he better or worse?
Snowden? Is he better or worse?
I rate him worse than Cade Snowden. I'll put him number 5. Who's my number 3? Give it to me, H. Oh no, some muppet.
Your number 3 is the one and only 8th Immortal, Andrew Johns.
Yeah, he's not that good. He's really not that good. He's definitely under Kalen Ponga.
That's an absolute lie.
Well done, H. You got me with that one.
So your 5 NRL players, I'll start from 5. Dane Nielsen and Cade Snowden. I maybe should have switched the order up a little bit. I maybe should have went them first and last. But and then Andrew Johns number 3. Andrew Johns is worse than Kalen Ponga and Cooper Johns.
Yeah, not Cooper Johns, Cooper Cronk.
Cooper Cronk, sorry. Cooper Cronk.
Otherwise, my list is very different. Kalen Ponga, lots of potential. Andrew Johns,
Mate,
wow.
I
Look,
think,
how many good games did Andrew Johns have?
yeah, quite a few. I think you could probably get away with putting Cooper Cronk number 1 and Andrew Johns number 2.
Number 3
think,
for me, mate. I'll stand by that.
So yeah, they're my
Nice,
little
hey.
segment there.
I like that game.
So,
That's a good game.
Yeah, even if I don't know, we might switch it up. Maybe I might do some next week with Joel. Joel giving me options because I don't mind that. Or even if
That's
mate,
good.
even if mate, if you sort of know one right now that you can sort of
I got
throw some
nothing.
out.
Don't put me on the spot. No, don't put me on the spot. I'll come up with one. I'll come up with one in a few weeks. That was good.
Next week, mate. Two for me.
Okay. I'll have 2 for you next week.
Even listeners, put it out there, listeners. Obviously, it's got to be a suitable topic. Don't
give us something that we got no idea. Listeners, if you want to get on and run a not yet. But give us something. DM us, give us something.
Yeah,
we can roll with it. We can give you a shout out.
If you keep coming up with good ideas, then we'll bring you on. But you got to show your worth.
Show your worth. Let's stick with footy there, H. We'll do a recap of last week and move into this week, the last round of the regular season. So
Definitely.
last week, round 26. Upset of the week for me. Rattled my tipping. The Panthers lost at home to the Eels, 32-18. They were,
and Eels had nothing to play
average. Yeah, and I don't know. It was an upset. We'll look at their team list this week. I suppose it doesn't really hurt the Panthers too much, but maybe that minor premiership sort of slips. But yeah, anyway, the Friday night game, Dragons lost to the Warriors. Is what it is. Warriors.
I watched the highlights, mate. The Warriors didn't play too well. Dragons obviously didn't play too good as well. But I think only 12 points. That's how your season's gone.
Look, for me, it was. I'll take a positive out of a low-scoring game. I know 18 points. It's not really low scoring, but only a couple of tries. I'll take some positives out of that towards the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely.
Suncorp on Friday night, Cowboys walked all over the Dolphins. Cowboys really trying to get into that top 8 position, so they needed that win. I think we tipped that. Saturday game, Storm very, very dominant over the Titans, 37-16.
I think we sort of called that as well a bit, didn't we?
Why'd they kick a field goal? Cameron Munster in the 77th minute. What a muppet kicking a field goal. I don't like that. Roosters. Dumb. Roosters 32-8. I tipped the West Tigers because I didn't want the Roosters to win. That was just dumb. That's just poor from me. Whatever. That is what it is. That speaks for itself. Broncos, confident. I was confident going into that, but they started slow.
They got the first try, but
they were. Was it even at halftime? Yes, it was.
Yeah, 16-all.
16-all.
And they didn't run away with it until later on in the game in the 60.
Until late, yeah. It took them 20 minutes to get back into gear. Selwyn Cobbo with a double in the second half. For 3 tries. Yeah, I missed out on a multi there, which I wasn't happy about. I needed Herbie to cross. Thanks, Herbie, for nothing. Sea Eagles, big scoring game, 42-24. Tries galore. Probably means nothing though for both those teams. So
definitely, yeah, sort of just going out there to play footy, weren't they? The two teams.
Bit of a training run. You get to this stage in the competition when you're down the bottom, and here's what it is. And then we both tipped the final game. Unfortunately for the Sharks, they slipped down the ladder after that loss too, didn't they? Knights
Yeah,
jumped over
they
them.
only slipped down to 6. Obviously, the news coming out a couple of days before the game, Nico Hines. I said even before that Nico was out, I was going to be tipping Knights. I think they're probably the form team in the comp. I think
Yeah.
I think it's 7 or 8 in a row. Especially being out at home, they're pretty hard there. Look, I tell you, I was pretty surprised there was only 6 all at half time. I thought, we were going pretty good, and then obviously in the second half, bit slow. They
Lost
got
away.
got a couple of quick tries, and then it's very hard to switch no momentum, especially up in Newcastle. But it was pretty piss poor effort. But no.
Especially Sharks scored the first try. Connor Tracy in the 6th minute. I was nervous
Yeah.
after that. I think I looked at the score about 10, 15 in, and I was like, oh, 6-0, okay. Maybe I've tipped the wrong team here. And then, yeah, they really had nothing after that.
Ponga came out, showed class. And yeah, but
Hurt himself, though, an AC joint.
Yeah, Jesse Ramian put a big tackle on him, and yeah,
I'm at second
yeah,
best.
yeah.
That's good
Pretty
for my
much so.
SuperCoach team. No worries.
And then obviously South having
South had the bye, which is probably good for them. Speaking of SuperCoach teams, we'll go through this week. The ins and outs this week is absolutely ridiculous. There are so many people being rested this week, which again, you talk about being in the top 8 or the bottom 8, pays to be in the top 8 because you get, a week off while your reserve graders play. My SuperCoach team's stuffed. Have you got any players this week for SuperCoach?
I got 13. I got 13, but
that's pretty good. That might be one of the better squads, to be honest.
No, a couple of people in the top 10 actually listening to a podcast. 2 of the top 10 have got 16. So
how? That's just got to be lucky that you've got nuffies in your team that are actually just playing this week, surely.
Yes, obviously some of them will probably, like 2 or 3 of them, obviously then players will be people on the bench. But yeah, I sort of brought it out when the team list came out. It's pretty much going to be it's a carnage, absolute carnage with teams, as you said, teams setting their spots in the on the ladder. Some of them can't move anywhere, even if they win or lose. Especially, and we're starting off with the first game here with the Brisbane Broncos versus Melbourne Storm. Bear with me because this is going to take me about 10 minutes to do the ins and outs. The outs for I'm only going to do the outs for the teams because we don't really need to hear the ins because you won't hear these names again. But for the Broncos, you've got Billy Walters, Ezra Mann, Herbie Farmworth, Harrington, Staggs, Capewell, Haas, Walsh, Cobbo. They're pretty big outs for the Brisbane Broncos. And for the Storm, you've got Munster, Welsh, Eli Katoa, Harry Grant, Jerome Hughes, Seve, Nelson Asafa Solomona, Tom Eisenhoof, Nick Meaney, Liero, Kamakika, how do you pronounce that bloke's name? Will Warbrick and Xavier Coates. So it's actually a new one there. So I've just lost another SuperCoach player because Eli Katoa was named and now he's been out.
That's what I was just thinking when you just said that. One thing, H, with that game, Broncos lose and Panthers win.
They get
Broncos lose the minor premiership. I'm really surprised the Broncos.
I thought they would rest a couple.
I think it's a must-win game for the Bronx. And neither of those sides would have known what the other is doing until
100%. It's a gamble, and that's why I think you name a couple of them and have your massive. You name 24 players.
Just name an extended bench and make the swaps if you have to.
Exactly
I don't know. It really surprised me because I just looked at the points differential while you're talking. That's what I was just looking at, and Panthers got about 80 points differential on the Bronx. Look, I don't know. Maybe they don't value the minor premiership, but it also gets you into number 1 spot where you play against 4th.
Then 200,000 K, you get 200,000 K, so it's not nothing.
Not nothing.
So
Ryan Pappenhausen playing this week, so that'll be interesting.
on the bench
I'll be
last
watching.
week, but starting this week. I
I don't
really,
know. I'll probably still go the Broncos.
I think I might, just because they've still got a little bit of first grade in the first team, in the 13. So it's definitely a tough one.
Although maybe I'll go the Storm. Pappenhausen, Nikorima, Wishart.
Yeah, I think I might
I'll,
might
I don't
go
know.
Brisbane.
I'll probably just go the home team. I think that's just safe.
Definitely. And then the first game is the Friday night, Seagulls versus Tigers. These guys don't have too many people out. I think the only big name out is Garrick for Manly and Johnny Bateman for the Tigers.
Stefano.
I don't know.
Kamano.
There you go. But I think it's obviously it's not a relevant game. Tigers have got the spoon.
Josh Schuster still dropped.
Yep, I think he's probably going to get whipped into shape in the off season.
You'd hope so.
But after Manly's performance last week, I think Manly at 20 plus.
Yep. I'll go Manly. I wasn't going to go that much, but I'll go Manly.
And then probably now we're sort of looking at the teams. I think this is probably going to be match of the round. With the South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the Roosters. It's pretty much whoever wins still might not make the finals, depending on how. I think the Cowboys were hoping Penrith probably would have rested some players, but so they would try and.
It's must win for any of these, for both of these teams though. Rabbitohs, Cowboys, Roosters all on 30 points. They need to win to stay in contention.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's two big losses for one from each team. Latrell Mitchell with a 1-match suspension, so he might not play again this year, or he
could be done. Yeah,
back to first week. And Jared Hargraves getting a 7-week ban. He went to fight it, lost, gets 7 weeks.
That's not good.
And then pretty much the one big in out of both teams is James Tedesco coming back from his week off from the head knock. And then pretty much sort of full strength, really, I would say from both teams.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm probably, as much as I don't like it, I might have to side with the Roosters just because no Latrell.
You reckon?
I'm
gonna go South. I've probably tipped South too many times this year. But I'm gonna tip South. I think they'll get it done.
There you go. Then moving on, the first game is Super Saturday with the Dolphins versus the Warriors over here in Redcliffe, I think it is it? No, Suncorp.
Suncorp.
And these
Warriors have stuffed me. I brought in 3 Warriors last week. I already had 2 in my team. And that's Adam Fanua-Blake, that's Dallin Watini, that is Tohu Harris, that is Wade Egan. None of them are playing, so that's fantastic.
So pretty much Dolphins have put the strongest side out they can, but the Warriors have come out and said, as you just said, Adam Fanua-Blake, Charles Nickel-Quackstad, Dallin Watini-Lesniak, Luke Metcalf, Sean Johnson, Tohu Harris, Wade Egan. 7 starters gone.
Yeah. Dylan Walker named as captain for the Warriors.
Bit of interesting one. To tell you the truth, I'm going to go Dolphins. I'm going to
go Dolphs.
It's a very weak Warriors team. The forward pack's sort of nearly the same, but I don't rate them too highly. But
Warriors obviously don't care if they lose. They will finish third or fourth.
They can't get anywhere. Or they can.
They could finish fourth with the Storm win, but they will finish third or fourth, and I assume they're happy enough with that because they will be playing the Broncos or the Panthers either way, no matter what happens. So, yeah.
The thing is, though, You would. Oh no, for and against is too far. That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna say you can try and push for second, but no.
No. But like,
That's all right.
I'm going to go Dolphins. I reckon there might be an upset there.
Yeah, I'm going Dolphins as well. Then the second game at the Penrith Panthers versus the Cowboys. Penrith Panthers, obviously they might rest a couple players, maybe depending on how tomorrow night's game goes with Brisbane losing. But I think they would probably run out 1-17, I would say, with naming a pretty much near full strength side. Unfortunately, Jerome Luai got injured last week in the Parramatta game. I think he might be out for a couple weeks, but I think
I
that's
think
a
they
bit of
said
a
he might make it back for finals. I think Panthers should keep their team 1-17. I think they should.
Penrith did the smart way and been resting 3 or 4 players for the last
Here and there.
4 weeks.
Yep.
Just so then, it still obviously didn't work last week, obviously, but because Parramatta played, I think, their best game of the year, really.
That's true. But they could afford. Again, we talk about winning minor premiership, but they could afford that because they were so far up the top.
And they're not going to win. They're going to have a home final as well next week, so it's not too bad. I think Penrith get the job done.
I think Penrith after last week.
After last week, I'd rather say I think they might make a statement.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Then the last game, mate, of Super Saturday, your Dragons versus the Knights. With the Knights, mate, they've rested 3 of their probably best players with Dane Gagai, Kalen Ponga, and Tyson Frizzell out. But they do bring some good people in with Lockie Miller, Jackson Hastings, and Anari Tuala. I think they're 3 pretty good replacements, and Lachlan Fitzgibbon as well. So not too bad, mate. Going through the teams there, I still think Newcastle will get the job done. Not comfortably, though. I think they will be 1-12.
I reckon Dragons are a smoky.
I could see it happening as well, though.
If there's going to be an upset, it'll be the Dragons.
I did think the Knights team was a bit worse, actually. So I was coming into my mind going, I'm going to tip Dragons, but then I'm just looking at it and going, yeah, nah. I'm going the Newcastle Knights. So, interesting one there.
I'll probably get Newcastle.
And moving on.
And then I'll change my mind 5 minutes before the game. At 7:29, I'll probably change the Dragons.
Then moving on
Let's
to
be
the
honest.
games. The Titans versus Dogs. Not too much to go through here with 13th versus 15th. Titans have been going right. Dogs have been pretty awful. I think pretty simple. Titans win.
Oh, sorry, just yawning. My bad. Tavita Pangai dropped. Will not have a send-off game.
And Jacob Preston. Jacob Preston had a 2-match suspension, and I found out that he was meant to get shoulder surgery at the end of the year, but they sent him 2 weeks early after he got his suspension. They said, mate, your season's done, no point. Get back, raring and go. Titans haven't really rested anyone. Brimson's playing, Tino's playing.
Yeah.
So I think Titans.
I'm gonna go Titans. I think that'll be an easy win for them.
No worries. And then to wrap off the round is the Cronulla Sharks versus the Raiders. The winner will get a home finals berth. I think both of them can finish 5th. Both of them can drop out, technically, depending on how these games go.
Yeah, actually. So
it would have to be a massive slide. It would. I think the Cowboys or the Roosters have to win by 30. And both Sharks or Raiders have to lose by 30. So I think these 2 teams will be playing.
Oh yeah,
finals.
you got a good for and against, so you should be sweet.
Yeah. So, and both teams haven't rested anyone. Nico's back this week. I think they said he could have played last week, but they said they didn't want to aggravate an injury there. And
what did he do?
Quad.
Just
restless quad. So they said, if last week was the last round, he would have played, but they didn't want to obviously risk it and then be out. Say he's out for 6 weeks and he's not going to play again. So
Wade Graham, last game, gets named. at number 12.
Yep, captain.
Captain.
So probably glad that it's his last game.
Although it won't be the last game because he'll probably play finals.
Sorry, last game. Well, they're playing
Last
the last
regular
game.
season game.
Yeah, at PointsBet, but then the NRL came out and said, "I'll be back if the Sharks get a home final. We'll play at Sportsbet." So they've done all this advertising going, "Oh, Wade Graham's last game at PointsBet," and now they've come out today and went, "Oh, yeah."
Do they lose for that purpose? There you go.
Well, we get one anyway. So
yeah, you will, because even if you lose, right, yeah. To come to the game to secure a sixth spot, I'm going to tip the Sharks.
Mate, I wouldn't. That's the only reason why I'm going for Dragons this week. If Dragons win, and then my Sharkies win, mate, we go to 5th.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't thinking that would happen, but
come on, your team hasn't done anything all year. You have one win for
you know what, mate? If it means helping out the Sharks, yeah, absolutely. I'll go the Sharks. I think
the Sharks bounce back. It's near full strength for us, so they'll be good. And then obviously Parramatta on the bye. They've already had their Mad Monday. Season over. They showed you.
Yeah, see, that's interesting too with the bye in the last round. Like they were done a week early.
Yeah,
that kind of sucks, to be honest. But
that's all right. And we'll be talking next week. We'll have our ladder predictions, how we went, and the first week of the finals. Talk about.
I've got the tipping comp here, mate. There's been a little change over the weekend.
Yeah, we thought it was coming for the last 2 weeks.
Not too bad, although he didn't do a very good job tipping. Shout out to Bades. Only got 6. You guys got 7. Shane and H
I've gone
got
a full round 7 and 7.
I know.
If I've got 3 full rounds in a row, that's 6 points, mate, and I'll be laughing.
That would be pretty good. I unfortunately got 5 over the weekend, which sucked. So Bates take the lead, 145 points. Then Shane and H on 143. Rocking Horse Road 139 with Brady Webb at 139 on equal 4th. I'm not even going to go past that because I don't think anyone outside of that could possibly win. Even equal 4th, I don't think they've really got a chance. Now that we go into finals, Timmy Comp goes right through to the end. So you guys are 2 points behind.
Yeah. You only need 1. And the thing that Bades has got to be careful of, his for and against is worse than mine and Shane. So all we need to do is
that's true.
Is tie with him, and he slips down. He slips down 2 positions. So
that's true.
Even though it will probably be the person playing golf with us anyway.
Yes, yes. I think he's secure with that. But we won't jump early. Look, he might forget his tips. He might click the wrong button. You never know. Yeah. So but that's where it stands. Definitely a shout out to Webbo 94, who's 34 points behind first. That's 34 games of football that you got wrong, Webbo. That's at least 1 a week. And you got 7 last week. So shout out to you. You suck.
Definitely. But we do have only 1 week left of the SuperCoach, mate. And tell you what, I had an awful last week. And
did ya?
Unfortunately, I'm not in first anymore. Mitchell is in first. He's
taking it back.
33 points. And Damo's tightened the lead up onto me as well, with them boys beating me by about 200 last week. So I've definitely...
This is going to go down to the wire.
And now with all these mass restings, people just... If you pick the right captain this week, it's going to be absolutely crucial.
All right, off the top of my head, before Mitchell makes any trades, Harry Grant playing this week?
No, he's gone.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so blokes that he's got to either try and trade in and out. He doesn't have the best bench either. So you never know. This could be pretty close. And Damo's a couple of points away, but he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, he's got about 10 or so blokes that aren't playing this week. So
Yeah.
this is going to be tight. This is going to be tight. This is for the ring. This is for the ring battlers.
Exactly.
The first down the middle SuperCoach ring. That's the one you want. You don't care about any of the others. You want the first one.
Definitely. Hopefully it's staying at my house.
H more. So how many trades you got this week?
Oh, I've got no trades, mate. No trades.
Have you burnt them already?
Burnt them already, mate. I used my last one last week.
You know what? I got 16 left.
I know you do.
And that's why I'm down the bottom.
Exactly right. So, but yeah.
Oh,
So it'll be
okay,
interesting.
well,
We'll find the result of that
crossed
next
for you,
week
mate.
as well.
Fingers crossed for you, mate. Let's see how you go. I'm going to have to, you know what? I might even redo my trades. So I've got to work out what to do with a couple of these blokes who I can find the biggest score from. Now that I've only got about 9 or 10 playing. Anyway, that's right.
Easy.
Any other sport, mate?
Mate, I'm all sported out, I think.
I got nothing. We're nearing the end. We're nearing the finals, so that's good. All right. We'll leave it at that.
I think so. Another good episode in the books.
Thank you, Battlers. That's number 52. Check out the YouTube. Check out the Instagram. DM us. Give us some topics. Give us something.
100%.
Give us anything. We'll chat to you next week.
Any feedback's good feedback.
We'll take it all. Doesn't matter. Although on Spotify, make sure you follow us. Give us a review. 5 stars preferred. 3 or 4 if you have to.
5 stars around.
But follow us. Follow us so you get the notification when it comes up. Follow us on YouTube. We've got a couple of followers there. So, yeah. All right. See you, Battlers.
Get into it.